What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And you are listening to a special Liquid Kernedge. One more special than usual, Jason.
This is very special.
This is very special because
you guys have no idea how special this is.
These idiots have no idea about introductions.
This is so special. I mean, this is going to be one of the epic podcasts of our entire existence to date.
This is so special. We brought the short bus.
Yeah, by far, this is our biggest recording to date. We have 3 guests on with a 4th one coming as we're recording.
I know, but
show.
You got to remember, Bruce. You got to remember this though. We always drive the short bus. This is just the first time it's been filled.
That's right. That is right. So, if we can get on with the introductions here, we've got a lot of special guests here today. We have our former intern JP is joining us. Our executive producer Tom is joining us, and our friend from Northern California, Bruce Hudson, is joining us. Gentlemen, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, Scott, just real quick before you get started. Bruce, Sacramento, that's really more kind of Central California, Central Coast area. It's not truly Northern California,
It is considered NorCal, but it's Central Valley.
It's Central Valley. Okay. Hey, Scott, the executive producer's note is don't insult Sacramento by calling it Northern
You're right.
California.
I won't insult
it by calling it what it is, Old Sac.
Yeah, Old Sac does not get insulted. It gets joked about.
Old Sac is in the Central Valley, not in the northern portion of California. I get that. That is fine.
And
They call it NorCal.
Bruce, that leads me to the next question. Which of the 3 states would Sacramento join when California breaks up into 3 states?
I wish it would, but it would be it's in the NorCal. There was a 6-state option that I think should really stick because then NorCal split off because it's a little more redneck. Or I mean, Sac's a little more redneck than the Bay Area.
You think so? That'd be like the conservative cousin that no one talks about in the NorCal family.
Yeah.
I got that.
But all the liberals go to make the policy.
Yeah.
The only problem I have though is that then we'd have to totally revamp our flags. And 50 is just perfect. It's got a nice little window there. Then you add 56 or 53, and it's all fucked.
It's a small price to pay to add some chlorine to this pool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I guess we should apologize to some of our NorCal listeners if they're taking offense to this right now. But Bruce marches to the beat of his own drum. So love him or hate him, man, he's going to speak his mind. So that's why he's on the show today.
Yep, and Bruce's drummer is a punk metal drummer.
You know what? If you have a favorite guest after tonight's show, why don't you hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, all at Liquid Kernedge. If you want to talk to Tom, hit him up on Instagram or Twitter, all at Liquid_EP.
And maybe Scott can do a survey at the end of this podcast. Who was the best host of the podcast?
Best guest. You want the host?
You
or
want
the guest?
Scott to do a survey? Oh, good luck with that.
I missed 1 week. I missed 1 week. Man, this show's already getting rough.
Guys, I think
we do have one more guest popping on here in a few minutes. He had to drop his daughter off. That is our buddy Brian. He's been on the show a few times. He'll be on here in a little while to join us in tonight's conversation. But, gentlemen, I thought tonight we could discuss something that is very near and dear to our hearts, the cartoons we grew up with. The 80s cartoons. I'm sorry.
Voltron wins, hands down. Just Voltron.
Jason wants to discuss.
Next topic.
Let's go into something more serious. How about the French-Polynesian Wars of 1723?
Yeah, that's what I.
That's really a good thing because Captain Cook discovered the Polynesian islands. It really was their first introduction to Western culture and the thought process of property and personal property. So, Jason, what is your thesis on this?
I just think that Bugs Bunny is the best. That's all I can think now.
Yes. And speaking of Bugs Bunny, Bruce had a theory over the group chat today that was very interesting. I do want to hear about it. Bruce, you mentioned you have a theory between Bugs Bunny and Donald Trump, and you weren't sure we were going to get to it tonight. But since our script is out the door, fuck it, man. Let's go for it.
I guess we're just diving right into this, right?
We're just going to dive right into this thing.
All right, so my theory is Bugs Bunny, my favorite character, is an anthropomorphized version of the United States post-World War II, right? So he was this antagonistic protagonist, right? You were always rooting for him, but he never really started the fight, but he would never say no to it and never back down, and he was always going to go big, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we're at with Donald Trump. We've had this run of U.S. presidents, right? Been pretty calm, pretty tame, and there's enough people that are like, no, this is the United States. We are the antagonistic protagonist of the world. We want, it's been too quiet. We want some trouble.
So right now, would you say that the issues we're having with Russia is, if Russia is Daffy Duck and we're Bugs Bunny, we are currently in the middle of its rabbit season. No, it's duck season. No, it's rabbit season. No, it's duck season.
You nailed it. Exactly.
Huh.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes.
That's actually the most logical explanation I've heard for all of the stuff going on since 2016.
We have elected Bugs Bunny as our president.
Wow. Well, he's a carrot, so it does make sense.
Wow. Ooh, that was a little bit of a shock.
A little bit of a shot. Well, now the federal government is now taping this as we record it. So we did pick up some new listeners as a result of that shot.
ratings up.
Enjoy the show, boys. It all goes downhill from here. That's actually that's a very interesting theory, and that's absolutely true. We don't take any shit from anybody, and maybe that's the one good redeeming quality he has, is that he's not backing down. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to get that shotgun in her face to blow up the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, it brings up an interesting point, because I was thinking the same thing when you said it, Bruce, that Bugs Bunny is the type of character you love, but every once in a while you want Yosemite Sam to blow his head off. You just want Yosemite Sam to blow his head off.
Well, thank God you added his head off after that. Otherwise, Looney Tunes has a whole different context. I cannot even. Dude, I lost my whole train of thought at this point. I knew the direction I wanted to take the show, but now we're talking about Looney Tunes. And
no, we were only talking about Looney Tunes because of the French Polynesian Wars.
That's true.
That's why we're talking about Looney Tunes.
And we can thank Captain Cook for that. And what did he do, Tom?
He introduced the concept of private property to the Polynesians. Before that, it was all communal property.
Somebody's writing all this down, right? So we have like a timeline that we can get back to, because it's going to get more complicated.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of time hopping here tonight. I can tell you that much right now. So Jason, let me ask you this: what cartoons did you grow up with as a child? You mentioned last week that Saturday mornings were like your time. You would watch cartoons, and your mom would take you to McDonald's afterwards.
Yes. So you're talking to Jason, not Pemberton.
Yes, I will call him JP.
Okay. Jason would eliminate his moniker to make it easier for the.
Yes, you're the co-host here, so you get your real first name. Yeah.
Okay. I was a Looney Tunes fan, and my favorite Looney Tune was Bugs Bunny as well. And I like that Bugs Bunny always seemed to outsmart his rival nemesis, Yosemite Sam, in whatever cartoon he came in. So for me, that was always really big. But I also enjoyed the morning comics where they talked about how to make a sentence and how a bill becomes law and all those. Was
it like the Magic School Bus or Schoolhouse Rocks? Is that what it's called?
No,
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
Those are my two. Those are my two growing up. That were my favorite.
That explains so much about you, especially your 4th of July traditions. Knowing that you like that song, "I'm Just a Bill on Capitol Hill."
Conjunction junction. What's
your function?
I mean, who doesn't love that? Screw that Frozen song. Let it go. I mean, conjunction junction. What's your function? I mean,
no, that makes total sense. I mean, I get that, and I think Brian's about to join us here. So, Tom, note that on the executive producer notes that we did silence our phones, but in the group text, everyone's phones went off.
And one of the things that was interesting about Bugs Bunny, too, was there was definitely a pure and very logical sense about who was good and who was bad. There was the good Bugs Bunny and the bad Yosemite Sam. There was no blurred lines.
What
about Elmer Fudd?
No, Yosemite Sam was not bad.
He was totally bad.
Totally misunderstood.
He was not. He was the foil.
They just had different. They had different ideas of what was right and what was wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, but I agree. Elmer Fudd is just trying to provide for his family by hunting rabbits during rabbit season. That does not make him the evil.
Okay, you're right. Hey, yeah, the Viet Cong were just trying to unify their country. I mean, it doesn't make them evil. Hey, come on. I mean, I mean, this makes them evil.
Actually-
Hey, the Germans, they
actually,
were just
Jason-
trying to win out the war and become total dictators over the whole world. They weren't
Okay,
wrong.
Jason,
They were foils.
Jason,
Yes.
Jason, A, calm down. B, it wasn't the Viet Cong, it was the NVA was trying to reunite the country. Please get your
I
facts
have my
right.
facts straight. The Viet Cong were the army of the NBA. So let's okay.
No, that was the NV. No, the NVA. The Viet Cong were the guerrillas in the hillsides. They were just the common
Oh, Brian's
people.
on it.
The NVA was the actual regular standing army of
They
North
were just
Vietnam.
foils, though, my friend. Continue.
But what were the Transformers?
They were robots in disguise,
Yes. And they're the more expensive version of the GoBots.
right?
Oh, yeah. So Brian just joined us. Brian, you just joined us in a very interesting conversation.
All right, bring it.
Well, it's been brought essentially. Bruce had a very good observation about Bugs Bunny being an allegory about Donald Trump in America. Bruce, do you want to go ahead and refresh that comment real quick for? Yeah.
Wow.
Use your big
Man,
words.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I made notes over here to make sure I tried to nail that word. So I don't want to overuse it. Make it look like I don't know what it means. So
Twice to one show, we'll be okay.
in short, Bugs Bunny is the antagonistic protagonist, and that's what we have elected, right? Because America likes a good fight.
You know, I can agree with that.
Wow.
Oh,
See? All right.
we
got it.
recapped that. You're caught up. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
I should have just said that to begin with.
Right? You led the show off way easier than using your big words right out the gate.
So things got real right at the beginning.
Things went sideways right from the beginning.
Yeah,
I
they
know,
did.
it's
It did go sideways a little bit.
yeah.
That
it's-
being said,
We're in a full
Scott,
skid.
we'll get back on topic. What was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
as a kid, man, I really did like Transformers and G.I. Joe. Those were my go-tos. Inspector Gadget was a big one too, and I think a lot of people forgot about Inspector Gadget.
I'm a huge Inspector Gadget fan.
See, Dr. Claw, Penny, Brain. I mean, those were all great characters. But Transformers, I had the toys. I had the big city, Metroplex, and it was so cool because it turned into like a robot, and it turned into a city, and it turned into a battle fortress, and it turned into two pieces when our executive producer broke it, trying to make it dance.
Trying to take dance.
Trying to make it dance. Do
Oh,
you remember that, Tom?
No, but I'm sure I did.
So,
Oh wow! So tell me about your childhood.
Well, there's a lot of repressed
Right.
rage and anger over a
Yeah.
toy.
but those are my favorite, man. It's they're all in the same world too. It's also
You know, so leading up to when I was able to call you, because I had a dinner party tonight, and
Ooh,
I
fancy.
polled the audience, if you will. The people there were within our age group, and of course, Transformers, GoBots, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff was brought up. But one forgotten one. Who remembers the toy series and it was also an animated TV series, Mask?
Oh, I remember Mask. Oh yeah,
Oh my God!
I have
Mask
the
was
entire
amazing.
series on DVD packed away right now. Mask was great.
I came in late. Was it brought up?
No.
No.
You literally only missed like 5 minutes of the conversation.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What was Mask? Was that from the Jim Carrey movie, or is it something altogether
No,
different?
it was something
No.
different. It's where they had.
It's an abbreviation, Mask, M-A-S-K. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah, while Brian's googling, essentially it was almost like G.I. Joe versus Cobra because they're in the same world. Mask was a different unit that would face off against Venom, and they had these really cool helmets they would wear, and they're like a car would turn into a jet, or the jet would turn into a boat, and they had all these different functions. And I think the leader's name was Matt Stryker, and he would call
Mobile Armored Strike Command.
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Yep. And they're the criminal organization called Venom, which was the vicious evil network of mayhem.
Yeah, and Colonel Mayhem was the bad guy, the main bad guy. He was
Hey,
their
no.
Cobra commander.
No,
I
no,
like
they
that
were
guy.
they were just foils. They were just foils. I want to make sure it's perfectly clear as we go forward. They're just foils.
I think
No, actually, in the case of Venom, they are.
I mean, it's
what?
in fact, Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd are just foils and Looney Tunes. They're not good. They're not bad. They're just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Cobra and Venom are legit bad guys.
So in that Venom versus Mask, do they fight each other, and who usually won?
The heroes always win.
Oh.
Very true.
This was done back in the 80s when Ronald Reagan passed that that law that every cartoon had to have some kind of moral story at the end
Like
to put morality back in.
Got it.
Back in cartoons. And if you watched all the G.I. Joes back in the day, at the end they always had like a little PSA, like, "Hey kids, eat your fruit and vegetables," or "Hey kids, teamwork works." And
just because G.I. Joe blew that guy's head off and the blood spill out everywhere, doesn't make it right.
The two side Mask was led by Matt Tracker with 2 Ks. He was a multi-million. I don't know why that's important, but multi-millionaire and philanthropist.
So he was Bruce Wayne.
Essentially,
he was, yeah, exactly. And then the enemy Venom was led by Miles Wolf Mayhem.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
I like that.
Tracker. I love
Those are
that.
like the worst names ever.
My name's
But
Matt Tracker.
apparently, from what I'm reading, is there was a crossover between G.I. Joe and Mask, and Miles Mayhem. Looks like here he was an operative for Cobra Command.
Yeah.
Yep. Venom was the technology and weapons research branch of Cobra.
See, the funny thing is about this is these are all owned by Hasbro. These are all Hasbro properties, and Hasbro is trying to turn all this into Hollywood movies now. So, the new Bumblebee movie that's coming out at Christmas time, John Cena's character is actually named after one of the Mask characters, and they're saying that's a backdoor to a Mask movie later on.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to be able to? Now that we're being able to do all these movies, are we ever going to get to a point where you could put a Transformer against someone from Venom and see what kind of fight that would be, or is it just politically incorrect to merge different genres altogether?
I think they're the same genre because they're owned by the same company. It's technically be the same world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like we're talking about having Star Trek and Star Wars.
That's a whole different topic and a whole different day.
And don't shut the topic down, Scott, just because you don't love
I'm not shutting it down. I'm saying Star Wars took place in the galaxy a long, long, long time ago. And
We're going down a wormhole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You say tomato, I say foil.
I mean, I would love to have that conversation about Star Trek and Star Wars.
But maybe for another time. Continue.
Another day, another time.
Another day, another time. We'll have another group chat over this.
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, one of the
superior to Star Trek in every way, shape, or form. Actually, from a storytelling
one of the greatest
standpoint.
series I've ever watched. Battlestar Galactica was great,
except for season 3. That would drag.
Took forever.
No, season 3 you have to have your salad before you can have your pudding.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You got to put that in the notes, though.
Whoa.
EP, that was deep. You got to have a salad before you have the pudding.
That sounds like a weird. That sounds. You're gonna find that on someone's prison cell someday.
I don't think I've ever been to a restaurant where they said, if you eat all your salad, you get some pudding.
Thank you, thank you, Pink Floyd. Thank you, Pink Floyd. I mean, that's. Oh man, what were we even talking about? I lost track of that one too.
So, are we discussing just cartoons, or are we just talking about just action heroes / superheroes from the 80s?
I mean, sure. I mean, now we're.
I don't know where we
going
segued.
now. Wow.
Any part is where we segue because my biggest thing, 1989, Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Oh yeah,
Worst Punisher ever.
Oh,
yeah.
Who is a better Punisher? Have there been that many?
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. John
Bernthal is a superior.
He's the current Punisher on Netflix. He's really good. I did like Thomas Jane back in the day.
Yeah, you know what? I will give Thomas Jane over Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah,
but when
Lundgren
made that movie though, they didn't do good comic book movies back then.
Well, and you also have to just love the pure history of Dolph Lundgren. So it adds so much to his portrayal because of who Dolph Lundgren is. Mm-hmm. Now you can look back and watch those movies and say, you know what, for the time, I thought this was such a badass movie, and now it's like, oh man, it's got such a nice history about it.
Well, it's funny if you watch a lot, even cartoons or movies from back in the '80s. You look at like, God, man, how bad were the special effects? You know?
Well, let's talk about George Lucas's biggest flop in the '80s was Howard the Duck.
Oh,
Steven Spielberg. It was Steven Spielberg. That was his movie.
Also,
I want to say
no,
Lucas.
that was Lucas.
That's definitely George Lucas.
That was Lucas.
Technically, the first Marvel movie, also.
Really, I thought that was Steven Spielberg was the director of that movie.
No, that's George Lucas.
So guys,
What?
I've actually seen Howard the Duck within the
It was
last
some
3
dude
years.
named Willard. It
That's
wasn't
true.
either one of those guys.
Scott and I went to school with Howard the Duck.
Yes, we did. Hey, he
Well,
retired.
I'll say George Lucas produced it. Okay, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. George Lucas produced it. It was directed by Willard. I'm going to butcher Huck. Huyck.
Yuck.
I'm going to tread lightly on that one.
Much like the goofy phrase "yuck yuck." That was his name.
Yuck.
Well, we were starting with cartoons, and I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Bad movies that have gotten the
But
bad press of not being understood.
Howard the Duck is the first Marvel movie ever made. He's a Marvel property, and it was a terrible flop. But it's one of those movies that it's so bad it's kind of good.
Wait,
It's actually that's a good assessment for it. It's a little It's a little weird when he makes out with
Leah Thompson,
Leah
right?
Thompson, but other than that, it's actually
Yeah, would
pretty
that be
good.
considered bestiality?
well, I was going to say,
Yes.
and that was right after she did Back to the Future, so she was kind of a big name
Right in that
star.
same time frame. Yeah.
I mean, she hitched her wagon to the Howard the Duck comet, and that just fizzled fast. I mean, you 1 minute you're starring in Back to the Future, the next minute you do Howard the Duck, you're doing Caroline in the City in the mid-'90s, hoping for a paycheck. I mean, that's how far your star
Let that
can
be
fall.
a lesson to you. Let that be a lesson to everybody.
That is a G.I. Joe, the more you know,
Yeah.
and knowing is half the battle.
Well, Lindsay
It's true.
Lohan's going
could be
down
worse.
the
She
same
could be
boat.
doing a podcast.
Lindsay Lohan's going to be doing her own reality TV now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Who's gonna watch that pile of shit?
You are.
No.
Probably the
That's
same
true.
people. The same people that watch the Kardashians probably. 'Cause they wanted
man.
to see train wreck going at 90 miles an hour. But
Do you think reality TV is ever going to actually come to an end? We'll get back to like real stuff.
God, I hope so.
I mean, it is such trash to watch.
This
that
has been a
stuff these days.
long fire. Like, I thought it was going to burn out 10 years ago.
right?
It just keeps
You know,
stoking it.
I think what it is I remember when I lived in Missouri, I lived next to a guy who was about as redneck and as you could possibly be. And even he would complain about the neighbor 3 doors down who he called a redneck. So I think that there are layers of people's lives that no matter how messed up your life is, you want to watch the reality TV of someone's life that might be worse than yours so that you can say, oh, their life is worse than mine.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like even the reality,
boo-boo and
even
stuff like that.
the reality shit is still scripted, though. I mean, you hear so many stories about that. Like, you know, they put them in those precarious positions, and you know, it's just stupid. It's like, just go away. You know, I don't understand why people get obsessed with it.
I guess I just never realized that so many people. I mean, my life's not that exciting. I couldn't do a reality show. Like, I don't do enough that people would go, "Oh man, look at Jason. Now he's, I don't know, driving to work again."
Jason, you're not getting crab on the Bering Sea. You work in a cube, barely. Come on, man.
Exactly.
None of our lives are that interesting. We're doing a podcast. We are the bottom rung of entertainment. And we're actually looking up at the bottom rung going, I wonder what it's like up there.
More often, this is just to entertain ourselves than anybody else. So.
Exactly.
Let it be known that at least we're under the ladder, and we're trying to grab that first rung. All right, that's.
And with the help of our executive producer, we'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah,
Someday, somehow.
I've seen your guys' work. No.
You know, and someone's going to listen to this show like often, like these morons. Let's put them on TV and see what happens. They're all over the country. You know?
Well, this train derailed like 5 minutes after I checked on. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what the topic is anymore. I think we were trying to do who would win a fight between Skeletor and Marmac or something like that.
Alf.
And so-
It was Alf. It was
Voltron.
Alf.
We've already covered this.
It was
Voltron.
Alf. It was Skeletor versus Alf. I wanted
What?
to see.
what?
Dude, I would
How'd
pay
that
for
even
that.
happen?
I would pay for that.
I'm telling you, the minute Alf sees Battle Cat, it's done. He's going to try and eat that bitch, and like Skeletor's going to kill him.
Listen, Alf took on that giant cockroach and whooped its ass. So I think, yeah, he's got a fighting chance.
That's true. I mean, you never say never. Like, you can never say never these things.
Are there two cartoons that you would love to have seen have a battle it out to see who was the badass?
I would love to have seen He-Man and Thundercats.
Why is
Like
that?
Lion-O and He-Man?
Oh yeah, did I let them go toe to toe? Oh yeah.
You know, why not He-Man and She-Ra? Let's listen. What happens?
Well, I think they made a movie about that called He-Man and She-Ra.
No, I think they just said, "I hate
No,
you,
no,
I hate you,
no,
I hate you." Yet I
no.
find you strangely attractive.
Yeah, the sequel was called Bam Bam.
Yeah, right. I mean, if we're gonna start talking like that, like who would win in the fight, Fred Flintstone or Barney Rubble?
Fred.
Fred.
Oh, Fred
All right.
would totally
Well, let's do
kick
this
his
then.
ass.
Let's talk about Ben Affleck and Ben Affleck Daredevil versus Ben Affleck Batman. Who would win?
Oh,
Batman.
I don't know.
Batman.
Yeah,
Batman.
Bad flick.
I think Daredevil.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think Batman drops him on his head, man. I think,
Batman is only tough if he's got his little toys and shit, man.
Well, that's what he's
Daredevil's
Batman.
like a badass. Like he can do all kinds of he can do shit and read minds and do all that crap.
You know, I read a thing the other day that they said if you were going to be a real Batman, it would take $300 million to become Batman, just in equipment alone.
That seems reasonable.
And you would have a very limited.
Right? Is there a bank that would give me a loan for that?
I'd like to become Batman.
You would have a very limited lifespan.
I want to become Batman.
You would have a very limited lifespan. That's the issue.
God, I would love to see the collateral you'd have to put up for that. I want to become Batman. So, what do you got for collateral? I said 1984 Dodge pickup.
Do you think Zuckerberg
I have
or
Xbox
Musk
One and a MacBook Air? Can we?
Yeah.
Do you think
Done.
Zuckerberg or Elon Musk that they might diversify and become Batman? Like they've got that kind. They've got Batman money. I mean,
I think Elon Musk would try.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg's too dorky.
No,
I think Musk is just.
Yeah, there's too much there's just too much autism with those two to be Batman. They get too focused on something.
Oh shit, that's funny.
well said, Tom.
Wow, that's the way to call it out though, because if I could become Batman, which I wouldn't, I never liked Batman because of the voice. That's just after a while it gets old, man. Like,
is it because you couldn't do the voice like that? Is that why?
I could do the voice
like all the time, like all night.
I couldn't do it all night. No,
I feel bad for no
I couldn't
reason.
do it all night. No way.
I mean,
I mean, if you want me to, I could try to do it.
I don't think you should try to do a show like that where it's all night. You're speaking like the Batman. That's not a good idea.
No.
That sounds like a bad date for you
Right?
two.
That sounds like a lost bet. Like you have to go on a date and speak like Batman the entire time.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. Maybe you guys can explain something to me. Now, if we're gonna get off topic.
Yeah.
I watched.
Now,
If we're going to be,
yes.
we've been off since the beginning.
Let's get off topic and take this train.
So I don't understand how this happens. So I was watching a movie recently where two people from the same special trained forces mercenary assassins were fighting each other. How come the good guy can kick the shit out of the guy with the same friggin' training and it's like not even a fight? Whereas you would think if they both had equal training, both of them would be jacked up people and one person would just somehow luckily kill the other guy.
Hey Scott, can I
You
take
go
this
right
one?
ahead.
I'm after you, Tom.
Yeah. I'll just pick a number and just go to the back of the line. You guys go right ahead.
So, Jason, to answer your question, it's a plot device because he's a foil.
Yeah, he's a foil. That's right.
All right, Bruce, you're up.
No, it's because he's got heart.
Oh, okay. Brian, you want to take a swing at this?
Well, I would have to agree with Bruce. It's who wants it more.
Well,
That's true.
Okay,
JP?
but
Well, I mean, the bad guy always has to throw in like one last-minute one-liner, and then during that time he gets killed.
Yeah.
Right. If you catch him monologuing, then you win.
Yeah, exactly. If he didn't talk shit before he was getting ready to kill him, he would already have killed him.
That's villainy 101. We learned that in the Bond movies. As long as you don't tell him your entire plan, you can beat the good guy.
Don't
monologue.
Yeah.
Do not monologue.
well, you know what? You answered my question. I appreciate it, guys. That was it. That was it right there.
I feel like there's two types of bad guys. There's the monologuing bad guy, or there's the bad guy who used to be the partner of the good guy. So it's almost a game of cat and mouse. Who knows who better? To try to outsmart them.
I don't know. I just watched this movie, and they're all supposed to be specially trained. The good guy is like strategically putting mirrors up so that he can hide where his location is. The bad guys rush into a building. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Are you talking about
No,
skyscraper?
skyscraper.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No, I wasn't, but that's good. No, I was talking about Equalizer 2.
I feel like you're talking about Commando.
Any of them. Let off some steam, Bennett.
Avatar. I think are you talking about Avatar right now?
No, I'm talking about Dances with Wolves, asshole.
Fern Gully. How about Fern Gully?
Wow, I never thought I would actually want to see a BuzzFeed quiz on one of these.
But
Wow.
no, but I'm serious. Like, it's like the bad guys are rushing into buildings. They're not like, they're just walking in blind. They don't know, and the good guy is strategically making it like a setup so that only the bad guys are going to get killed. And I'm like, you guys have got the same training. Like, what happened to your ability to think like the same? I mean, it just didn't make sense to me. It's almost like, well, we can't write it where the good guy might die, so we've got to like write it so stupid so that they believe that
it's Hollywood magic, and that's all I can really explain it as. It's I know you saw Mission Impossible this weekend because you have a Tom Cruise crush.
I do,
and Ralphie and I went and saw it today, and it was entertaining. But at a certain point, there's no physical way you could survive half the things Tom Cruise seems to survive.
Yeah, it's gotten so far. Like, it's gotten so far left. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the only way I would say that that's not entirely true is that the guy does his own fucking stunts, okay? So when he jumps over a building or falls onto the bag of whatever from the helicopter, he did that. So it's not like it's like photoshopped in him doing it.
I didn't mean to offend you and your crush. I'm sorry. Just take a breath.
Hey, he's a foil. That's all I can say.
No, he's definitely a man crush. He's not a foil. He's a man crush for you.
But I think Jason had a good point back there, like with the two guys rushing into the tower or whatever, right? But it's about wanting to see that worthy adversary, right? An equal match to actually produce the best fight. And I think if you go to like The Dark Knight, that's one of my favorite movies with Batman and the Joker.
Yeah.
Like that one was like truly a worthy adversary for Batman. It took every ounce he had to see if he could pull that out.
Yeah. And you could believe that the Joker was smart enough, cunning enough, diabolical enough that he wouldn't just – I mean, he was smart enough to outthink Batman at times and say, I know you're going to do this, so I'm going to counter by doing that. The Equalizer 2, it was like just stupid. Like, wow, four of you guys are trained exactly the same way as Denzel Washington, and all four of you dipshits can't figure out that he's going to put some secret fucking thing out there. You guys run into buildings by yourselves. It's like, that's so stupid. I mean, it's just so dumb. Anyways.
I can't wait to see the movie that Jason directs someday. Where it's an equal match or along the way. So what happens when the bad guy wins? What happens when
it really can't be any worse than this podcast.
Wow.
That's a shot.
That was a shot, buddy. Wow.
I didn't think we'd get to that point, but damn,
no,
Tom.
no.
I can't wait to see your notes this week.
Yeah. Tom's going to say, the one member of the panel was amazing. Everyone else can suck balls.
Yeah, Brian has been amazing on this. Brian, I really want to apologize.
Oh, man. So, Scott, here's what we need to do. We're probably going to need to do a part 2 to this episode because we didn't even get even close to topic that we were supposed to be on.
Right. We are so far off the train, but I know.
Well, you would think that as much time as you gave us ahead of time of what we're going to talk about, we've done research, but apparently, I'm going to wing it and have my computer in front of me and just Google shit while I'm talking.
If we're going to make this a 2-part series, then I do need to plug our sponsor, Crespo's, real quick. As the summertime goes on, make sure you order your Crespo's at Crespo'sOfficial.com to keep your eyewear safe around your head. That way you don't lose it in the water. Or in the mountains while you're hiking. Order Crespo's at Crespo'sOfficial.com. Use your promo code Liquid Kernedge and receive 20% off your first order.
Scott, can you spell Crespo's? Because I keep listening to these episodes. And, how do you spell it?
Crespos.
Oh, yeah, I see. I was way off. Okay.
Yeah, you probably added it.
I thought it was a B and a K. And
no, you're spelling the name of the planet that Superman came from.
I don't know why I have a Q in there somewhere, but okay.
All right, boys, we're back on part 2 of this episode, so let's just keep this gravy train rolling. Oh, man.
So, hey, Scott, if you're going to record this for a little longer, give it a 5-second pause, and then we'll do.
Do you want to do a part 2 like that?
So we'll do a sign off. We'll do a sign off for this one. Give it 10 seconds and start over again.
All right, let me sign off real quick. All right, boys. This conversation is so great. We're going to roll into a second part of this show. If you guys have time to hang out.
Oh God.
That's a yes for Tom. So, Brian, Tom, JP, Bruce, thanks for joining us today. I did say Brian.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Don't forget about me.
No one can ever forget about you. Jason, take us home for this part, and we'll roll on to part 2 here in a few minutes.
Well, as you know, that was the gang. That was Scott. I'm Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.